Mr. Corbyn's bellyaching about his position about Palestine or his position in Palestine, which has recently revisited his views on anti-Semitism or reawakened the charge of anti-Semitism. In fact, I don't think that Mr. Corbyn himself is actually anti-Semitic, but I think his views are expressed with such ambiguity that his followers may well not be clear enough about the distinction between the policies of Israel and the Israeli government and Jewish identity. So while it is certain that many Jews support Israel, not all do. Many Haredi do not, particularly those who actually live in Jerusalem, and people like the great Miriam Margolyes do not. But she, unlike Mr. Corbyn, chooses her language very carefully, and her grounds for objection, for instance, to the policies of Netanyahu, or even to the principle of return, that offers a homeland to all Jews, but not to Palestinians, that is something that is worthy of debate. And as I say, Mr. Corbyn's language is often confused and intemperate. So his call today, which has been reported in The Guardian, for a cessation in the supply of arms to Ukraine is similarly toxic and open to misunderstanding, misrepresentation, even if he means well. He's quite right, I think. I've looked at this very carefully. He's quite right that arms will prolong and exaggerate this war. He's also arguably right that the supply of arms, providing arms, is not going to bring about a solution. But it's a different issue to go on and then say that we should stop supplying arms. That alone also will not stop the war or indeed restore the status quo. He also says that he's disappointed that the majority of world leaders do not use the term peace. Again, he's quite right. But peace can only be achieved through negotiation, and that negotiation can only take place from a position of parity. That will not happen if the Ukraine is not supported and is bullied by a more aggressive and bigger Russia. He's also right that the war has been disastrous for both Ukraine and for Russia. It's quite true. But again, he misses the point in his effort, I think, to score points against his own Labour Party leaders and against our government. The future of Ukraine will only be certain if we keep helping Ukraine, which is what Ukraine requests. And at the same time, if we open doors to negotiation and to talks at all levels. As we are non-combatants in this war, we should be in a position to broker peace, and we should have been doing this from day one instead of manifestly displaying what Lavrov calls belligerence. We should have been doing the same thing with Israel. Of course, the Palestinians need to find a solution. We need to find a solution as part of this global, as a global power. We all need to find solutions to the Israel-Palestinian problem, which goes on and on. But it must be something that grows from negotiation and talk, not something imposed from outside by people, however well-meaning. We can and should always distinguish between the politics of Israel and the politics of the Middle East and Jewish identity. But I think there is room to revisit the right of return. I think the right of return for any Jewish people must be upheld, but I wonder if in the end it might not also be enhanced And that might be a very interesting point for discussion in the future. As for Ukraine, once again, I can only salute the bravery of Ukrainians and the fortitude of Mr. Zelensky, and I think we should stand as firmly with him as we possibly can. But, as I say, it also means that we should be opening as many doors as possible, and I think Liz Truss is utterly reprehensible for not calling in the ambassador and not establishing a rapport with the ambassador. So at least we have the option of talking. We have British people in danger for their lives, and we should be doing everything to save them, because particularly because this foreign secretary, who hopes to be prime minister, put their lives in danger. And we can't just wait this one out. We need to be proactive